I don't tip.
What do you mean you don't tip?
Leave the damn dollar.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak
What's up?
and Steve.
Hey, everybody, how we doing?
Doing good. Okay.
Everyone notice my fingers always messed up? Oh, never mind.
I don't know. Anyway.
No, look
What's
at
up,
mine.
everybody?
Look at mine. They're not even straight. They're tilted. They're good. They go wee.
What's
Today
up,
we are going
everybody?
to be reviewing the movie Reservoir Dogs. Mikey the
Oh,
Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie?
in honor of Bevo, I didn't watch this movie. All right, so Reservoir Dogs, 1992 Quentin Tarantino movie. One of the
His first movie.
first movie I've ever watched with Quentin Tarantino. When a simple jewelry heist goes horribly wrong, the surviving criminals begin to suspect that one of them is a police informant. A lot of this takes place in a safe house, warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
which is considered a safe house. So six strangers. Well, I guess not really strangers. A couple of them know each other, but they all have aliases. I always love the maybe whatever. They don't want to use their real names, so they basically get six people. They use code names: Orange, Mr. White, Mr. Blue, Mr. Brown, Mr. Pink, and Mr. Blonde. Some people don't like their code names, which I thought was one of a funny bit.
Why do
Um,
I gotta be pink?
why do I gotta
I
be
told
brown?
I
Feels like I'm
told I
Mr.
told
Shit.
I told Bearded Geek before we recorded. My brothers and I all the time would be like, one of us would just be like, "Why do I gotta be pink?" And then one of us would hit him with the punchline, which I won't say here.
Yeah. Okay.
Great movie. So these six somewhat strangers are hired to do this jewelry heist. That yes, it does go horribly wrong. Starts off, Mr. Orange gets shot. Mr. White is trying to rush him to the safe house. Now, Mr. Orange, of course, as everyone have seen the movie, he is the police informant. And they basically make sure that they're trying to catch Joe, which Joe is the ringleader of this entire police heist, with his son Eddie. Well, so you always have those people that
Nice
are
guy, Eddie.
behind the heist. So it comes out to where those two starts off that way, and then everyone starts showing up to the safe house. Then they start to do the backstories. Mr. Brown was a getaway driver. They come to find out he died in the car accident, so they cut back to that scene as they left. um, you never see Mr. Blue getting killed, but they did say that he was
He
killed.
gets he was shot by the police. That's what Mr. White
Yeah,
says.
yeah. But they show everyone else end up getting murdered or get shot during
You
the police
you
heist.
really
Or
you really
what?
have to wonder why they got Mr. Brown, because that dude was so old. What did he really bring to the table? Everyone else was
Getaway
easily in
driver.
his 30s. Yeah, but he's an old man.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Mr. Blue? Mr.
Oh,
Blue
Mr.
was
Blue. Sorry,
Mr.
Mr.
Blue was
Blue.
the old man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What made Blue?
Blue,
You're my
yeah.
boy Blue. It makes sense now. Okay, that makes you're good. We can keep going.
Yeah. So
Really
it,
though,
it
what did he bring to
and
the
he
table?
doesn't say anything. I don't think he has a line in the entire movie. I can't remember.
He does.
I don't.
He does.
He
He talks
does.
at the beginning. He talks at the beginning at the when they're talking about Madonna and tipping.
Yeah.
He says
Oh
stuff.
yeah. At the table, yeah.
Take the girl in the
Uh,
back. Yeah.
so one of it's funny. So yeah, so towards the end, the biggest scene that I've always enjoyed was how Mr. Blonde kind of went crazy on the cop, took the cop hostage to find out who was the informant.
Yeah,
And then
Steeler's Wheel. Come on.
yeah, I
Everyone's
love
favorite
that
scene from that movie. Everyone's
every
favorite
time.
scene from that movie is Steeler's Wheel.
Absolutely.
Get
Yeah.
Every
out of
time I hear
here.
that movie, hear that song, that's the first movie I think about.
That's
Yeah,
how I walk. If I'm
yeah.
in a public place and that song starts to play,
That's all. Yeah, he
That's
did.
that's how I walk, and my
That's
wife
the
hates me.
dance. That's the dance. Yeah. So great scene, gory, demented, and
Yeah.
that's Quentin Tarantino for you.
That's
So much
Tarantino.
blood all over the place. Again, one of Quentin Tarantino's MOs.
Also,
But
No
such a
bare feet. No bare feet though.
not in this one. Didn't see any bare feet in this one. But it was his
No,
first
no,
movie
no,
though.
no real women in this one.
yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Just the woman that gets carjacked.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, that's odd. But again, like we said, it is his first film. And I would say this is probably one of those
Cult
con
classic.
film festival con film festival
Yeah.
movie that was
It's
one
a,
of
it's
the
a
Can
cult classic. It's a
Can
cult classic.
is
Can
it
are you talking
Cannes
about Can?
Cannes
Are you
Film
talking about the
Festival?
Can
I don't
Film
know.
Festival?
Can I don't care how you
Cannes,
pronounce it.
Cannes. Yes, the Cannes. Yes.
Depends
Cannes
on where
Film
you're from.
Festival.
Depends on where
I
you're
don't
from.
give a shit. So
If you're
yeah,
from the South, it's cons.
Cannes Film Festival. Let's go independent filmmaker.
There you go.
That I really think he put his name on the map with this movie.
Yeah.
I love the way it was shot out of order. So you kind of had to figure out what was going where,
Quentin
which
Tarantino staple.
he's always known for that. But yeah, such a great movie all around. Bearded Geek, what do you think about this movie?
Oh man, this is the first time
First
I've actually
movie?
ever seen it.
Yeah,
And I really enjoyed it. It has a gangster type feel to it. Even though I wouldn't consider them gangsters, they're just like
bank robbers,
criminals. They're criminals.
small robbers.
Yeah, criminals working for one individual who are hired. They're not part of a gang. They're hired individually to be part of a heist. So I thought that this movie was really good. I thought it had a great cast. I love Steve
Mhm.
Buscemi in just about everything. So this was a really good movie. I like the way it was shot. I don't have anything else to add to that. Steve, how about you?
What was
The
your
entire
favorite
time
scene though? What was your favorite scene though, Bearded Geek?
My favorite scene in the whole movie was uh probably him cutting the ear off. Cutting the ear off, yeah. So
All right,
other
Steve,
than
I'm
that-
sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
it's okay. The entire time that you guys have been talking, I've been listening, but in my head, all I hear is boom, doom, 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 doom. That's I've just had
The,
Little
the,
Green Bag going
bro,
through my head
the,
this entire
the
time.
greatest opening scene of a movie I
Mhm.
have seen in a long time. The slow walk. I love it. Love the
Yes.
slow walk.
Sure. And I just blankly I just blanked on his name. But I love the guy that plays the DJ. He's the guy that's asleep on the couch in
Oh,
Half Baked.
Stevie.
It's Steve. I want to say it's Steve something.
Oh
Hey.
man, my
Um,
mind.
I really enjoyed the Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs was probably it's Tarantino's first movie, but it was probably the second or third movie from Tarantino I saw. First movie I saw from Tarantino was Pulp Fiction. This is definitely higher up on the list of movies that I do like from Tarantino. For me, my favorite scene is going to be Tim Roth actually practicing the speech over and over and over till he has to actually tell it.
The toilet
And
speech.
Oh yeah.
100%.
The name is Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright, you were
I
two
was trying to look.
steps
I was
ahead.
trying to look it up, and I remembered it as I'm trying to put in his name is Steven. I'm like, oh,
That's right. That's right.
Doo-doo.
I poured spot remover on my dog. Now
I
he's
love it. gone. I loved him as a comedian. He was very funny in the 90s.
He's such people. There are two kinds of people: people that love Stephen Wright as a comedian, and
straight up
people that
hate him.
don't, and people that don't get Stephen Wright as
Yeah.
there's no hate in him.
Yeah.
You just don't get him because
Yeah.
like the guy the man is a comical genius, absolutely for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, no, for me it's Tim Roth practicing the scene with all of that. If we're going in, our ratings next, is that what we're doing? I don't know
Yep.
what's next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ratings
Yeah,
next.
Mikey the Freak, what would you give this movie for your rating?
This was other than Pulp Fiction. I think this is probably one of the best. I mean, there's a lot of them, but one of the best Quentin Tarantino movies that I've enjoyed watching. This is where I got hooked on Quentin Tarantino. Even though I did watch it after Pulp Fiction, I like Reservoir Dogs more and figured that out. I'm sorry, my boring you, Steve. I apologize.
I'm just tired in
You're
general.
like, um, but I give this movie a 9.5. I love the way it was shot. I love the indie type film, the independent filmmaker film. The slow walk at the beginning is probably one of the greatest slow walks, and they still do that in several movies to this day. And I think
yeah.
that Quentin Tarantino set the bar for a lot of movies, and he started some great trends in the film industry in the 90s. And even with all his other movies, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Hateful Eight, um, just fantastic movies. So 9.5 for me. Bearded
All
Geek?
right. I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna give it a straight 9. The dialogue in this movie was really good. Starting off with just the tip scene in the very beginning in the whole diner. The dialogue was good. It was shot very well. I like how you said it switches around from scenes to where you have like the ending and then the beginning and stuff like that. How it's a Quentin Tarantino, the way he does his movies. I love that. It was just shot very well. Dialogue was well. I would recommend this to adults, not kids. Other than that, a 9 for me. Steve, how about you?
I'm gonna split it right down the center, say 9.25.
2576.
9. It's a solid 9 for me. It's definitely up there for great stuff. Not for kids, definitely for adults and babies. You can play anything in front of babies, and they're never gonna know because their brain
They're
is
babies.
It's great. They're babies. You could say whatever you want. You could be like, you little stupid little son of a. They're a baby. They're never gonna. I resent you so much, and they're never gonna know they're a baby. And it's like they're like, oh, they're a sponge. Yeah, for the vocalization of it, but like the baby's first word isn't gonna be resentment. No, unless you say it all the time.
Pink.
All right. Well, moving on, I do have some fun facts for this movie. The film's budget was actually so low that some of the actors were simply asked to bring their own clothing as wardrobe. Quentin Tarantino was originally going to play Mr. Pink, although he made a point of letting all the other actors audition for the part. When Steve Buscemi came into the read for it, Tarantino told him it was his.
Nice.
He looks like a pink. He looks like a Mr. Pink.
Why do I gotta be pink?
Why can't I pick my color? What about your color? It's cool because you're Mr. White.
Back to the.
You want to be Mr. White? Fine. Nobody's changing their colors.
The budget again was so low that they didn't have police assistance for traffic control. So in the scene where Steve Buscemi forces a woman out of a car and drives off in it, he could only do so during green lights.
That's crazy. Did I think it was real? Oh, I got carjacking her.
And that is all I have for fun facts. Steve, how about some musical
movie reels? Yeah, absolutely. So it's we just got a quick one for you. We got Coconut by Harry Nilsson, Harvest Moon by Bedlam, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel, I Got You by Joe Tex, Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Suede, Fool for Love by Sandy Rogers, Madonna Speech, which is apparently just what the opening speech by the guys.
Yeah.
Little Green Bag by George Baker Selection, and Magic Carpet Ride by Bedlam.
Very cool. All right, Mikey.
And that's the soundtrack. Mikey the Freak.
Great
what
job,
do we have?
Steve.
What do we have for related reels?
Well, I have a couple people that we were going to go through. As you know, a lot of the same actors are in this movie as well as in Pulp Fiction. So I picked some different movies. Harvey Keitel, one of the greatest actors in Hollywood. He's been in movies like Little Nicky. He played Nicky's father. I love that movie.
Satan.
It was so funny.
That you played Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Satan, yes, Satan.
Fried chicken.
Kind of fits pretty well. National Treasure series. He was in both National Treasures and the one on. Well, he was one episode in the one on Disney now.
The TV
TV
series.
show. Yep. And the Ridiculous Six. So if you haven't watched the Ridiculous Six, which was an Adam Sandler spinoff or mock of the Hateful Eight, it's actually a pretty funny movie.
It's one of like the 5 or 6 Netflix originals that Sandler made.
Yeah. It is actually pretty hilarious. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You'll laugh. It's good.
First time?
Yeah, first time. Next time, no, it's funny. Tim Roth, also in the Hateful Eight. He was also Abomination from the Hulk series, She-Hulk, so forth. So for your Marvel fans, not the bearded geek. And then Pulp Fiction. He was in Pulp Fiction as well. And then Michael Madsen. I did Kill Bill. Wyatt Earp.
Which volume?
The first one.
Oh, where he only appears in the last 5 seconds of the film. Great choice.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's sitting outside.
Not volume 2 where he plays a predominant role. Good choice.
Why not? So I picked the Kill Bill series, volume 1 and 2. And Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I'm sorry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I apologize. Which is actually that is also a very good movie too.
All right.
That's 3 people I got. You love volume 1 and 2. It's such a great
All right.
And you forgot 4 Rooms with Tim Roth. That's a super good one.
4 Rooms. Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you should watch it. 4 different directors, 2 of them being Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Each make short stories. Tim Roth plays the bellboy. Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, Bruce Willis, Madonna, Alicia Witt. Those are just Marissa Tomei. Those are just some of the people that are in 4 Rooms.
Awesome.
As my glasses are fogging up from me laughing so fucking hard. Oh my god!
So I was gonna go from the not related reels, but we talk about how Quentin Tarantino uses a lot of the people in the same movies. Mm-hmm. So everyone, if you haven't watched Pulp Fiction, there's a lot of fan theories and related theories about how Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs are same related time frame, same universe. So it's pretty interesting read. So I love the theory that Mr. Pink, because at the end of Reservoir Dogs he gets away with the diamonds because everybody shoots himself in the standoff at the end, and everybody's already dead, and Pink just like, all right,
go.
Yeah, but when he leaves, you hear gunfire. You hear lots and lots of gunfire.
But you don't know if he made it or not.
Yeah. You don't know if he actually got away with it, or they actually got they shot him as he walked.
But
outside.
Either way.
Yeah. So he was Buddy Holly at the restaurant in Pulp Fiction, and they
Jack
said
Rabbit Slims.
Yeah. So they were saying that that's the reason why the line for the tipping came up in Reservoir Dogs. Why they started there, and so that was kind of like his backstory.
Okay.
So forth. So it's pretty interesting.
All right. Well, as we come to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast?
The Last Podcast You'd Want. It's where we do movies, entertainment, video games, TV shows, what's hip and happening, and by my standards and my standards alone. Releasing whenever, but most likely every Friday. Tip the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
All right. You guys can listen to this podcast on most major podcasting platforms or watch it on YouTube. If you're doing one or the other, try switching it. Leave a comment down below. Give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe, do all the YouTuber things. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, keep it retro, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.